Hey friends, welcome back to Storytime with Mr. L, and today I want to talk about everything that I've read this summer, because one of those amazing things about summer, whether you're a teacher or a student, is you have extra time on your hands to get more reading done. And even though summer is busy and crazy and there's guests and you're going places, there's always time for reading. So I really want to go through everything that I've read this summer, because I've only been a librarian for 8 years now, and before that I taught grade 1 for over a decade. So I'm behind. I'm always behind. And then of course every year there's all these new books that come out. So some of the stuff I'm going to show you is newish and some of it is oldish, and all of it was great. So let's get started with a book that I have been waiting to read for a long time. Dork Diaries is one of the most popular book series in all the 3 libraries that I've worked in. Kids check it out, little kids, big kids, all kids. They're so cute inside. There's great illustrations. There's so much to look at. And I'm just thinking, I need to read this book and actually see what's going on. I liked it. I'm not sure how comfortable I am with 3rd and 4th graders reading it now that I've read it. It is definitely a middle grade novel, 5th grade through 8th grade. It's about a girl going to middle school and just dealing with friendships and groups and being popular and what to wear and what not to wear, and the cool kids and the not cool kids. This is book 1 of the series. It was a great read, but I am going to be a little more careful about who I let walk out the door with it moving forward. Max in the Land of Lies by Adam Gidwitz. This is book 2 in this series of Max. Book 1 finds Max, a Jewish boy in Germany, Nazi Germany in 1939, escaping to England to go live with a family who, it turns out, are a bunch of British spies. And Max convinces them to send him back to Germany because Max has some ulterior motives. The British want him to do something. Max wants to do something. And this book begins with Max landing in Germany, attached to a British captain who dies while they jump out of the plane. And so Max is on his own. It's the great history of World War II, of the beginning of the Nazi Party and this sort of takeover of Europe by Hitler and his huge military machine, and Max being part of it, and Max really throwing himself into it and doing this spy work for the British Army, all the while trying to find his family. I loved this book. It was an amazing read, better than book 1. You're gonna love it. Max in the Land of Lies by Adam Gidwitz. Those of you who've seen my channel know that I love Gordon Korman, and Mixed Up was no exception. What a cool story. 2 boys living on opposite sides of town who start swapping memories. They don't know each other. They've never met. And all of a sudden, one boy's memories are the other boy's memories, and the other boy's memories are the other boy's memories. And then they find each other, and it's about what they do to try to solve this problem before they lose all of their own memories. And the chaos that ensues when you don't remember what your house looks like or how to get home or the kids in your class, but you remember the kids in some other class and how to get to some other home. Really cool book, Mixed Up by Gordon Korman. Finding Langston. This is book 1 of 3 in a trilogy. Is about a boy in 1946 who moves with his dad from Alabama up to Chicago to start a new life after his mother passes away, and dad just can't handle the memories of being in Alabama and missing his wife. And it's kind of about Langston again, trying to fit in at school, trying to make friends, being that kid who's different, being so Southern, having an accent, dressing differently. And Langston discovers the public library. And Langston discovers Langston Hughes. And it is a very cool story. Not very thick, a pretty quick read. Finding Langston by, let me see here, sorry, it's all covered up by all kinds of spine labels. Lesa Cline-Ransome, Finding Langston. An oldie but a goodie, but one I'd never got to, How to Steal a Dog by Barbara O'Connor. about a girl and her brother who are living in their car with their mom, and all she wants is to live in a house. She is tired of being homeless. She is tired of living in the car. So she sees this poster on a light pole that says, "Reward for lost dog." So she decides that she's going to go out and find a dog, steal the dog, wait for the reward poster, and get the reward. But it's not as easy as that. This is a great read. This is one I couldn't put down either. Just fun, interesting, something really to think about, and really thinking about the life that some of our students are living that we don't know about, and just keeping in mind that we don't know what's going on with these kids. We really need to do more for them so they don't have to do things like steal a dog. Percy Jackson, book 7. This one is called Wrath of the Triple Goddess. Percy is partway through getting his 3 letters of recommendation to get into university in New Rome. In book 6 of the series, or book 1 of this trilogy, Percy had to get a letter of recommendation from a god. He needed 2 more, and so here he comes up with Hecate, and she is given Percy this job to pet sit her animals. And of course, we get Annabeth and Grover back in with Percy, and pet sitting is not as easy as you would think. Things get out of control quickly, as they always do for Percy Jackson. Rick Riordan's Percy Jackson, book 7 or book 2, depending on how you count. Always fun. If you've read Tom Engelberger's The Origami Yoda series, you'll know that he is a huge Star Wars fan. So I was really excited in my current library to come across this on the shelf. It's Return of the Jedi, and beware the power of the dark side. Written from Tom Engelberger's point of view, writing from the point of view of all the characters. So we get a few more thoughts, we get a few more actions. If you've seen this movie a million times like I have, if you know this story front and back, this is a fun read. And for those kids who don't know Star Wars, this might be a great place to jump in and really get them excited about it. There's some pretty cool illustrations in this book. Some black and white ones, some color ones. It's really a fast read. It looks thick, it's 400 pages, but short chapters, 3-4 pages. Return of the Jedi by Tom Engelberger. Isabel in Bloom by May Respicio is about Isabel, who has grown up for the first 12 years of her life in Manila in the Philippines, and her mother has been working in the US, sending money home, trying to take care of her that way. And now her mom has asked Isabel to move to the United States and come live with her and start a new life and be in middle school. And it's a learning experience for Isabel, again, making friends, jumping in. She joins the gardening club. She joins the cooking club. Well, she actually starts the gardening club. But it's about finding yourself. It's about if you're different or not the same as everybody else, and embracing that and embracing who you are as a person, and getting to know her mom. And just, it's a lot of beautiful parts of this book, Isabel in Bloom. It is also, I forgot to mention, a novel in verse, so it is, again, a quick read. Lesa Phipps, author of Starfish, has her great book here, and then boom. And then boom. Just when things are going right, boom, things go wrong, right? So this is Joe, and Joe has been living with his mom, but she's a bit of a flake. She's in and out, so he's living with grandma, and that's something he loves. But then at some point, Joe finds himself on his own, and he's afraid to tell anybody. He's afraid to tell anyone what's happening to him, what he's up to. There's a lot going on, and there's a tornado, and Joe's life goes in all kinds of directions. It is a novel in verse like Starfish, and it's good. It's, I enjoyed it. It was a really fast read. It's pretty deep, pretty intense. I think for a lot of our kids, they're going to really get into this and have questions and want to talk about it. And, kids who don't have enough to eat, and kids who don't have a place to live. And there's a lot to go and break down in this book. And then boom, by Lesa Phipps. Okay, we're going to get into graphic novels here. Max Braller's The Last Comics on Earth. Our Last Kids on Earth crew is at the comic book store, and they realize that they have read every single comic in their favorite series. And there are no more comics because the people who wrote them have died, as all the adults have in this series. So they take it upon themselves to start writing new comics of their favorite comic series. But it's tough to write a comic when you're not sure how to agree about who's going to do what, who's going to be the illustrator, who's going to be the author, whose character gets to be the hero, whose character doesn't. That's fun. It's a great graphic novel if you like The Last Kids on Earth. Housecat Trouble. So cute. There are 2 of these books by Mason Dickerson. And it's just about this cat who goes out into the world. He's a house cat. He's never been out of the house. Meets a couple of street cats. They take him on all kinds of daring adventures, things he never thought he would do. It's really fun. The kids have just been eating this up. I can't keep it on the shelf, which is why I got to read it this summer, because that's the only time I ever get it on the shelf. Timid by Jonathan Todd is about Cecil, who again is one of those new students in town, looks different, kind of doesn't fit in. He's really trying to make friends and trying to decide if he should be friends with the Caucasian kids, the African American kids. His sister tells him to do one thing, he thinks he should do another thing. Sometimes you don't get to choose who your friends are on the first day of school, but you just fall into friendships, or you fall out of friendships before they even start. It's complicated being new. This is the story of Cecil in Timid. Speechless, let's see. Mira. Mira is what we call a selective mute. And that means that when her anxiety gets too high, she struggles to talk, especially at school. So at home, she has no problem talking to her family, to her friends, but at school, she can't talk at all. People don't even know that she can. They don't know anything about her. And this is about Mira and her family, and obviously at school, and trying to get through this mutism that she has, and learning strategies, you know, starting with whispering to one person, whispering to another person, working up her courage to actually talk in class. And all the while, her old best friend, who is now her number one nemesis, has moved into her house through different circumstances. The other student that she likes is hanging out with her. They're doing projects together, but of course she can't talk at school to them. And so it's just very complicated. There's a lot going on. It was a great graphic novel. It was a really fast read. I enjoyed it a lot. Speechless, written by Erin Nels Steinke, who's the author of Mr. Wolf's Class. Fun. Saving Sunshine by Sadia Faruqi and Shazleen Khan is about some twins whose parents are down at a conference in Florida, and a medical conference, and the kids have all day to themselves. They are not getting along anymore. They used to really get along as children, but now they're not. But they can't go anywhere separately because for safety reasons, they need to stay together. So this is kind of the story of them finding themselves, finding their friendship again, and all the while saving a giant loggerhead turtle, which is super cool. Was a beautiful story. You know, lots of great nature stuff. Also really cool about this book, because he's really interested in NASA and she's really interested in animals. And throughout the book, you get these little nonfiction blurbs that give us more information about different facts. So I thought that was really neat to kind of go with the fiction story. And the one I just finished today, Pizza Face, book 2 in the Four Eyes series by Rex Ogle and Dave Valenza. So Rex is now going through puberty, kind of, sort of. He's got a lot of acne. He's not growing. His voice isn't changing. He's not growing hair. All the things that he kind of wants to happen aren't happening, and all the things he doesn't want to happen are happening. And it's a little bit traumatic being at school, and just, you know, he's got pimples all over his face and his back, and he's short, and he's got a squeaky little voice. And it's a little bit traumatic. And of course, then there's the friendship drama. This is all based on a true story, based on Rex's middle school. I'm sure that lots of middle school kids can relate to all the chaos and things that go wrong when you say something you didn't mean to say it, and you weren't trying to be mean, but it came out mean, and then your friends go away, and there's a lot. Pizza Face. Book 1 is Four Eyes. Great series. Okay, now I'm going to talk about a few books that I read this summer that I don't physically have in my hands right now because either I read them as audiobooks or I borrowed them from the public library. So I'm going to talk about them real quick and then we'll wrap it up because there was just a lot of reading this summer. All right. First was Phoebe and Her Unicorn, Book 21, Unicorn Book Club. I love Phoebe and Her Unicorn. Maybe my favorite series. I think it's great for kids. I think it's great for middle grade. I think it's great for adults. I think it's great for adults to read with their kids. It's funny on so many levels in Unicorn Book Club. We learn about Marigold trying to get into a book club. Cracks me up. No, nonstop. All right, let's see. What else do we have here? Oh, yes. The new Kayla Miller Book 7, Stuck, in the Click series, Book 7. And so Olive has returned to summer camp. And Olive, I feel like she's always positive intention. She always wants to do the right thing and say the right thing and help her friends solve problems. But of course that doesn't work. We can't all be perfect. And so Olive gets into her own set of chaos at camp. And she thinks, oh, this is going to be so great like it was last time. But she forgets last time had a lot of problems too, because these things happen and we forget about the problems and just remember the good things, which is what we should do. So anyway, Stuck, Book 7 in the Click series, super fun. I loved it just as much as I've loved the other 6. Jasmine Warga's A Strange Thing Happened in Cherry Hall. Jasmine Warga is giving us a new book. Very cool. So this kid, his mom works in a museum, and he's in this room, this sort of gallery in Cherry Hall, the name of the museum. And in this room, a painting has been stolen. And just like when the Mona Lisa was stolen, the Mona Lisa then became famous. When this painting was stolen, this painting that became famous, the museum became more famous. More people visited the museum to look at the empty spot where the painting used to be. But this boy really wants to solve the issue of who stole the painting because he feels like people are trying to blame his mom or him. And then there's this sort of ghost in the museum who can't leave the museum. And there's a turtle who can understand what's going on at the pond, but no one understands the turtle. And there's a lot of things happening here. But it is a fascinating story, of kind of a mystery about who stole the painting and why they stole the painting. Jasmine Warga's A Strange Thing Happened in Cherry Hall. All right. Ah, yes. Christina Soontornvat's Legend of Lotus Island, The Guardian Test, Book 1 of her new series. This is a new series for sort of early chapter book readers, kind of early middle grade readers, about a group of kids who go to Lotus Island to learn to be guardians, which means they can take animal shapes and then in different ways and different roles go out and protect our planet and protect wildlife and nature. And it's a pretty cool thing. The main character, Plum, is not sure why she was chosen, and she's really struggling to shape-shift into her new form. And this is going to be a great series for kids, you know, sort of kids who like Eerie Elementary and Notebook of Doom, that sort of size book. It's a lot of fun. It's exciting. It's mythological. It's a great one. Let's see. Oh, J versus K. J versus K by Kwame Alexander and Jerry Craft. If you like Kwame or you like Jerry's books, you're going to love J versus K. It's about 2 fifth grade boys, J and K, based on Jerry and Kwame, who are entering this story contest. And they are great rivals because J is an amazing illustrator and K is an amazing storyteller. And they're always trying to one-up each other all the time, even though they've really only just kind of met recently. And it's how this friendship evolves into a friendship and how this sort of me versus you, J versus K, how this plays out. It's really great. And you get a lot of little side comments from Kwame Alexander and Jerry Craft throughout the book as they're talking about working together to write this story. It's a lot of fun. And let's see. Last one. Erin Estrada Kelly's Those Kids from Fawn Creek. I loved Those Kids from Fawn Creek. I love Erin Estrada Kelly's books in general. In this book, it's a town in Louisiana, and there are 12 kids in the 7th grade, and there have always been 12. Well, there may have been a few more, but kids move away, but no kids move in. Until one day, Orchid shows up. And Orchid is new. Orchid is exciting. Orchid has lived all over the world. Orchid is special. Orchid throws the whole class into chaos. Makes kids rethink who they are and how they act and what they say and what's cool and what's not cool and what's amazing, what's not amazing, what's true and what's not true. And for Orchid, she's going through all of her own sort of trying to find out who she is and her own issues as well. If you love Erin Estrada Kelly's books, and I do, and you probably do too. I mean, she did win the Newbery this year. This is a great one. Those Kids from Fawn Creek. All right, so I did read a few other books this summer, but I think that's a good start. I will post all of these down in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed this. If you read anything fun this year, let me know what it was this summer. School starts soon if it hasn't already started for you. Happy reading, friends. Bye.